As we all know, AICTE has recently released Addendum and Corrigendum on the Approval Process Handbook of 2024 to 2027. Last year, AICTE has released an Approval Process Handbook for the 3 years, and this year, the AICTE has come up with the Addendum and Corrigendum on the process that has been released last year. In our studio, we have three experts who have closely worked in updating this handbook. And let's ask them what are the changes that have been brought into this handbook, and what are the factors or parameters that the institution has to be looked into to be careful while applying for this process. And let's welcome in our studio first Ashmita Dhiron ma'am. She is the Director of Regulation Bureau. She has been working on the Regulation Bureau from past 2 years. Previously, she worked in the Delhi Electricity Regulatory Commission, and she's on deputation here. And she's one of the key members who has worked in this Addendum and Corrigendum for the present session.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Welcome to ma'am. Then we have Professor More Ramulu. He is the Advisor of Regulation Bureau. He has worked as a Chief Scientist at CSIR Simplified, Dhanbad. And he's also one of the key members who has worked with this Addendum and Corrigendum for past couple of months along with Ashmita ji madam. We have one more expert who has worked in the e-governance. He is the Director of Naresh Groverji. Welcome you, sir.
Thank
he
you.
also worked closely with the Regulation Bureau team, and what are the changes or parameters that were required in the approval process, and while the application online process he has closely worked. Now, welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
We have all these three people in our studio. Now, let's ask these experts what are the parameters changes that they have brought it. So, before going further, I would like to ask from you people, what was the main purpose for this Addendum and Corrigendum that AICTE has brought recently?
The objective of bringing out this Addendum and Corrigendum is actually before the approval process begins. We wanted to bring out this Addendum and Corrigendum for the advantage of the stakeholders. The main purpose is for bringing out the efficiency and transparency to the approval process.
I would like to add certain changes were required, as sir has rightly mentioned. Certain changes were required after coming out of the 3 years approval process handbook. These changes have been incorporated in the Addendum Corrigendum 2025-26, and it will provide a very smooth flow to all the stakeholders and the institutions for getting their approvals.
Then, sir, how does this Addendum Corrigendum will allow for the transparency or accountability? Well, those parameters, as it was sir was saying, that how does these parameters are imbibed in this Addendum Corrigendum with respect to transparency and accountability on the institution point?
So from this year, we have added a new mode of conducting the hybrid expert visit committee, and that is a hybrid mode. And hybrid mode composition has been defined. We have worded it in the approval process handbook. And 2 experts, its composition will be like this. 2 experts shall be sitting at the AICTE headquarters, and the 2 experts shall be going to the institute. So they a 4-member committee in totality will do this expert visit committee, and it shall be in hybrid mode. Previously it was either online or offline. Now we are having the hybrid mode, so that the 2 people are there in the institution and 2 people are at the AICTE headquarters, and they are working in sync to get giving the final output regarding the institution.
Is this a new concept, ma'am? Is the first time they been introduced?
Yeah, this is the first. This concept has been introduced first time, and it shall be effective from the academic year 2025-26 to all the institutions.
So, institute will be aware, sir, whether it's a EVC, online EVC or hybrid EVC, how they will be aware of it? How institute will know whether we have to go online EVC or hybrid EVC? How institute will be aware of it?
We shall be sending mails to the institutions, like you will be having the hybrid EVC in advance, and to the expert members also, and accordingly both the committee members who are going to visit the institution and the institution shall be aware of the hybrid EVC shall be happening at the institution.
The concept behind this hybrid EVC is there are advantages in both the systems, that is online inspection and offline inspection. So we have taken the advantages of both these inspections, both the EVCs, then clubbed together, and we made it as a hybrid EVC. to make it efficient, more efficient mode of this EVC system.
Is there any extra tier charges will be the technical tier charges for this hybrid EVC, or it is same as the EVC only?
No, the charges shall be the same. It's only the mode which we have changed to ensure the transparency. There shall be no change in the charges.
Okay.
And I guess as per APH, it is going to be for fixed percentage of institutions, or it would be for all?
It will be for all. This
It will
is
be for
a new mode which shall be effective from this year only.
Okay.
Instead of offline, the hybrid mode shall be there.
Now EVC means it is hybrid EVC.
Okay.
Correct.
EVC means
From
hybrid
now-
EVC.
EVC
from
means
now
hybrid
There's no
EVC.
online EVC.
No online, no offline.
Okay, that's great.
Okay, it's hybrid EVC.
Okay.
So
So
stakeholders should understand this.
Okay.
EVC means hybrid
Hybrid
EVC, and this is the more efficient and robust mode of inspection we want to introduce. We already introduced this, and we want to make it regularize this from this year
Right,
onwards.
That's fine, sir. So one more question, sir. I just was seeing the schedule.
Yeah.
You see that there was a kind of a 4 groups have been done: Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, Group 4. Like I just see that recently we had elections also where couple of states will be in the Group 1, couple of Group 2. So I see this kind of similar. What was the philosophy? Because usually we have been seeing that a 30 to 45 days window is to given for all the institutions to apply. I think maybe the first time that like this grouping has been done for the existing new. What is the philosophy behind that, and what has prompted AICTE to come with in kind of grouping?
Yeah, you rightly said, and just the analogy which you have made with the elections. See, the idea behind the elections in different phases is to have the seamless kind of experience. And the same way we would like to apply in this AICTE approval process from 25-26 onwards as well. See, the reason behind this grouping of institutions, as you rightly said, is because of the number of institutions coming under the AICTE ambit. Last year, approximately 14,000 institutions were there under AICTE ambit, including the BBA, BCA, BMS institution as well. This time also we are expecting more than 2,000 to 3,000 being added into AICTE kitty. So for that very purpose, to give all the users the seamless kind of experience, the time when they are actually applying for the applications of approval, or be it any kind of a category. So the experience, we would like to have the seamless kind of experience to be experienced by our users. So that is the only reason behind dividing all the institutions into different groups.
Okay.
This is very
What about the institutions who are applying running only BBA, BCA, BMS? So for them will be separate window.
Yeah. If you could look at the schedule.
Okay.
See, schedule itself is showing that what are the institutions coming under different groups.
Okay.
And if for any matter, if institution is facing any kind of difficulty to which group that institution is falling into, we have given a particular tab on the AICTE website, group-wise bifurcation of institution. Just that institution need to search its name. Simply the group name would be flashed corresponding to its name. So according to the schedule, he can apply.
Suppose other group institute want to apply in specific, whether AICTE will allow it or whether the portal allows it?
No. We need to be specific according to our timeline.
Okay.
So strictly this time onwards, and we request on behalf of AICTE as well as to all the stakeholder institutions to be stick to that timeline, to have that seamless kind of experience for them. Be it any kind of applications, they need to be specific to that timeline only.
So as from the last academic year, BBA, BMS and BCA has come under fold of AICTE.
Yeah.
Any policy changes are there for this year, or is the same policy which has been given the last year, same thing?
Okay,
How they will apply, any norms have
I
been
would
changed?
like to mention here that for the new institutions like BBA, BCA, BMS, AICTE has taken under its umbrella from the last year. For the new institutions, if any BBA, BCA, BMS is applying, it shall be processed on the basis of as is, where is basis, in case if it is a new institution. And if it is an existing institution, if it is applying for the same intake last year, it shall be granted approval. And if it is showing if it wants any increase in the intake, it has to substantiate its claim with the additional infrastructure and faculty with that increment.
Means proportionately they have to show the resource infrastructural and the resources in proportion to the plan of the increasing the seats or increasing whatever it may be.
For BBA,
So,
BCA.
for BBA, BCA especially, because it is approved on as is varies basis.
Okay.
Okay, so no, so that's the reason why they have to show proportionately the increase in resources and infrastructural facilities accordingly.
What is the tier charges? So suppose any new institution, as from last 2 years onwards, as any new institution has to apply for NSWS, National Single Window System. Even BBA, BC also has to apply through this only, or directly they'll apply on the portal.
In
Okay.
case of new institution,
Yes.
in case of BBA, BCA, if it is a new institution, it has to come through NSWS
NSWS,
portal. And we have separately demarcated the BBA, BCA institution TR charges from other conventional institutions. So for like if the institution is coming as a new institution, BBA, BCA shall be charging 3.5 lakh. And if it is an existing institution, BBA, BCA, but coming to AICTE for the first time, so we shall be charging 20,000 per division. And in this also we have given a special privilege to the government institutions. We shall be charging 1/4 of this amount to the government institutions. And if it is an existing institution and it is coming, if it is an already AICTE approved institution, they can apply BBA, BCA through new program, new level. And BBA, BCA, if it is adding for the first time, again 3.5 lakh we will be charging. And if it is already existing in AICTE approved institution, and we shall be charging 20,000 for that.
No,
And
let
for
me,
yes, please.
what Mr. Vamshi is asking is, if a BBA, BCA institution, which is already there, not a new institute, even existing BBA, BCA institute also, but coming to the AICTE first time, should come through NSWS or not?
Yes, sir.
Specifically, that is
BBA,
what he
BCA, it will come through NSWS portal only if it is restricted to the new institution.
Okay. Already existing, ma'am.
Existing, it shall come through the existing institution, shall be coming through the new level, new program.
Fine, ma'am. Yeah. And
With their existing ID.
With the
With their
existing
existing ID, they can add the new program and new level.
Okay.
The idea behind this is any institution which is new to the AICTE ambit coming through the NSWS portal, if that institution is already having the permanent ID with them, that will be adding BBA, BC as NP&L, new program, new level.
And what is the idea of, suppose anybody has applied and they not got that sale proposal, maybe new level, new program. What is the policy, means how they'll get the refund of TR charges they paid? Any policies there of refunding the TR charges, anything? Or suppose their proposal got rejected.
If any institution has got the letter, LOA, letter of approval from our side, and he has paid the requisite TR charges, so if AICTE shall not refund any of the TR charges.
Suppose any proposal got rejected due to maybe deficiency.
If finally it has been granted the letter of approval, there shall be no refund of the TR charges, and security deposit, if it has paid, it can be refunded accordingly.
So TR charges will not be refunded, only the security deposit is going to be refunded.
Okay, sir.
That's it.
And sir, I think from last year, the AICTE has brought a policy that extension of approval in a one go can be given for 3 years or multiple years or to a cap of 3 years. Whether the policy is existing for this year also, or any changes have been brought into that idea, to that policy?
Same policy is being continued for this year also, because the approval process was made for 3 years.
Yes.
So we are continuing with the 3 years extension of approval. So all the institutions who are willing to take 3 years, they can apply if they fall in the requisite criteria as mentioned in our approval process handbook.
And last year, those institutions who got for 3 years, so whether they have to come for again for updating the records, or they can, it's not required for them to update the records.
That would be mandatory.
That will be mandatory.
That would be required from their part.
And what will be the window for them to update records? Is this same window or there is some
See,
other window?
they need to stick to their group only.
Okay.
The group to which they belong to, at that according to that timeline schedule, they need to apply for that.
So means if any changes are there, then only they need to come.
No, the data pertaining to the placement, data pertaining to the number of enrollments that need to be put.
They
na.
have to
Okay.
update.
They have to
update
come.
every year.
Yeah, they have to update every
Every
year.
year,
They need to come
despite-
to our portal,
Okay.
so that we may be able to know that yes, these are the number of institutions which have actually applied to us. So they need to be there.
Despite given the approval, they
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
update
they need
the
to be there, and
update the
rest
data.
all the eligibility conditions remain the same as available in the APH.
Okay. So in the addendum, yes sir. In the addendum corrigendum, I was just looking for. I think there is some leeway for the deemed to be universities who are category 1 and 2. I think the process of giving approval has been simplified. Can you just enlighten us for the deemed to be university who are category 1 and 2?
So basically, we are just looking for the government approval and the NAC certificate and the state government approval in case of university. So we are extending this benefit submission of 4 documents to the category 1 deemed to be university also. So category 1 and 2 deemed to be university, they have to submit only the 4 documents, like I said, the state government approval and the UGC approval and the affidavit 2 and 5. So only 4 documents they have to submit if they fall in the category 1 and 2.
Okay. And just one more question. Suppose while applying institution, they got any problem, whom they can approach at AICTE while filling the application? They stumble at any maybe in the portal deficiency, or maybe they got some query where they can approach. How they can approach?
Yeah, see, AICTE has made every arrangement as far as the grievance part, the raising of grievance part is concerned. See, there may be 2 types of grievances as far as the institutions are concerned. One may be the technical one, another one may be for the policy kind of point of view. See, if the institutions are having any kind of grievance, be it a policy, be it a technical one, they need to come onto the CSS portal, right? And the link for that portal is actually available on the AICTE website, main website. AICTE main website would be the complete window to be there on the for this approval process 25-26. So they need to raise their grievance on that portal, and for the help of all the stakeholder institutions, what we have done, we have also initiated the live session window as well. So any kind of query they can come to on those live sessions, be it a real-time query they are facing when they are applying for the portal for the approval. So they may ask, our help desk persons are there to help them, and the window corresponding to the telephonic line as well as to those live sessions is open.
Okay, that's great.
So help desk is there
Yeah.
to sort out to any issue the stakeholders face.
Okay, that's great.
So help desk on all working days from Monday to Friday would be available, and the live sessions are also available as on date on all the working days.
That's great. And I think when I was looking for the addendum corrigendum, one of the game changer is the introduction of professor of practice, where where the AICTE states that whatever student faculty ratio will be counted, the people whom you got admitted or who recruited under professor of practice. Can you just brief us, can you throw some light what exactly the professor of practice and what kind of levels are there, how it's going to benefit the institution and student as well?
So basically, to link between the academia and the industry, AICTE has brought this very good initiative by bringing in the professor of practice and the student faculty ratio. This will bridge in the gap between the academia and the industry. So the people who are working in the corporate sector, after a certain year of experience, they can come as assistant, associate, and professor of practice. And the very good thing about this is this will be counted in the student faculty ratio also. So the person who are working in industry, they can certainly give their experience, whatever they have learned to, and they can share it to the academics, and it shall bridge the gap between the two.
Okay, so
And one more thing I would like to add to this is it is up to 20%. They can, and the 20% they can, institutions can fill through professor of practice, and in that also they have given us privilege to the women professor of practice. 5% is reserved for the women professor of practice. So AICTE has brought a very good initiative to promote the women, to bring in the women, like the people who are working in industry, to the academia.
So this is applicable across all programs, engineering technology, hotel management, planning, design, applied arts, applicable all the programs or exclusive for engineering technology only?
It is applicable to all the
All the
programs.
programs.
Okay, at all levels.
Right.
Yes.
So the idea is we'll give value addition to the academics institutions. It is up to 20% it is considered now. So that is also another advantage to the stakeholders.
Where institute can fill these details? As I know that faculty they'll be filling up while applying, but where they can fill this professor of practice that he is associate, his assistant, or his POP, or for engineering and diploma assistant. So where they can fill the titles while applying?
It's available on the portal.
Okay.
Right, straight away when as they were filling the other faculty information, there it will be coming. Is it a professor of practice or assistant professor of practice or associate professor of practice?
Okay, that's great then. So that also will be captured
Yeah,
automatically.
we are
and
capturing that. We are capturing that.
How ACT handles the complaints or violations from the institute point of view? Suppose any institute has any complaint or any they violated any norms, how ACT is gonna handle those things?
If any complaint is received against any institution or any deemed to be university, it shall be processed by the AICTE as per the penal norms specified by the Approval Process Handbook. And if any complaint is received against university, so AICTE can proceed on that complaint and intimate its status to the UGC.
Okay, so universities will communicate to the UGC, and deemed university institutions, ACT will be under that domain.
Yeah.
As sir was saying that almost 14,000 institutions were under the ambit of the ACT. What ACT looks towards institution means what is the expectations of ACT from the institution point of view when they are applying on the portal? What ACT expects them to, so that institution will be aware. Yes, these are the things which ACT looks from us, and we have to adhere to these norms. What ACT looks from the institution to the institutions?
Say the first and foremost is the institution need to be stick to that timeline, right? If I am aware, being an institution, if I am aware that this is the particular timeline in which I need to apply and in which I need to download the application. Similarly, that would not only enable that institution to have that seamless experience, but for the AICTE as well, when we'll be going to evaluate those applications. So that is a win-win kind of a situation for both stakeholders as well as the AICTE. First and foremost is let us stick to that timeline, and in case of any grievance, you are free to raise your grievance anytime. It's 24/7 available. You can raise your grievance on the portal. Same will be conveyed to the concerned regional coordinator, and the query would be solved through the replied email as well. Let's be stick to our group.
Okay, so basically ACT looks at all the norms and timelines institute has to follow,
Yeah.
so that there will not be spillover with other groups.
Yeah, you just see, we have started this process early.
Right.
The reason behind that, we all know that as far as the Supreme Court guidelines are concerned, we need to finish this particular process by 30th of April. 30th of April is going to be the last day in which we need to have the applications with us. We need to evaluate those applications, and the institution need to get that extension of approval or the letter of approval with them, being in that timeline. So to have that kind of timeline, we need to be stick to our group and follow that timeline in discipline.
As
And I would like to substantiate here, AICTE also expects that the institute should provide proper infrastructural facilities, whatever they are prescribed in the APH.
Yeah.
And while the inspections are conducted, EVC is conducted, especially the internet broadband. So all those things are mentioned in the APH, and they should comply these things properly. So AICTE expects proper factual information, whatever they upload.
See, if you could see the APH, the number of documents which are required now for the institution to be there on their side, they are being reduced. So it would really be a easy kind of a thing for the institution to follow that timeline and to be ready with those approvals applications.
as Regulation Bureau will be overlooking all the process. Now applications have been done. So what will be the next step that Regulation Bureau will be looking into that? Once the applications process have been come, so what is the next process that Regulation Bureau will be doing while finalizing this their processing?
Regulation Bureau shall start processing the applications based on the whatever institution has applied. It shall conduct the scrutiny committees, and if required, re-scrutiny committees, and thereafter expert visit committees, It shall be as per the as per the institution has applied in what category. Accordingly, various committees shall be conducted, and whensoever the institution has to be there, it shall call the institution, and institution has to coordinate for that.
So that means as per APH guidelines, if the institutes apply properly, everything is done as per their affidavit, we'll give approvals, no issue at all. If any lapses are there, if any lacuna is there, then it goes to the next level, whether the scrutiny, re-scrutiny, and then EVC, all these things as per the APH.
Okay.
In addition to it, if there is any institution is still aggrieved, they can go to the standing appellate committee,
Okay.
and they can appeal to the standing appellate committee as per the norms, and they will be given sufficient opportunity to present their case before the expert committee.
Okay. So what is the usual time that is given to the institution for appeal, so that they can suppose they're aggrieved against decision taken by AICTE and they want to appeal for the SAC, standing appellate committee? What is the time given to the institution, ma'am?
Generally, it is given for 7 days, and the institution has to appeal within the specific this timeline, and 7 days is the time.
So how institute will know it, whether they have to appeal or not?
Yes. They shall be given the email in advance,
all kind of thing is being online. So the portal, the institution are being informed regarding their status.
Okay.
That status
So
is
the
being
mail
done.
shall be sent
Mail
to the
is being
institution
triggered,
in
yeah.
advance, and the institution shall have a sufficient opportunity to represent
Because
against.
I was seeing that Addendum Corrigendum, where it was written that web portal as well as email.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
till last year it was only web portal.
Web portal.
From this year it's
Yeah.
only email.
Email.
Yeah.
So
Mail
email
will
will, which email you will be sending, that AICTE will be sending the email to them, to which email ID? It's director of that institution or the trust of institution, whom that email will trigger.
Registered email ID, I guess, to the head of
Yeah,
the institution. it
whatever
will go.
it has filled
Yeah.
in its application
yeah,
details,
the
it shall
application-
be triggering to that.
The registered email
Yeah,
ID.
yeah.
Yes, yes.
So once they come for SAC, so is there any other? For suppose they're not
Not satisfied, yeah.
they're not satisfied with the SAC decision also. So
Yes.
there is one more step, or there is the final stage.
That's
They
a
can
reason.
appear again, they can avail the
Okay.
opportunity of resec also by paying the requisite charges, that is 60,000,
Okay.
and they can again appeal to the SAC.
Okay. So once they then as per the norms of the APH AICTE, the proposal will be there.
Yeah, sufficient window is being given to the institution.
Sufficient, yeah.
So that the norms, the idea behind this is then at every side we need to have that norms to be followed.
Right, sir.
So if the institution is not ready today, there is a window for that institution to be ready for tomorrow.
Right, sir.
So those norms are to be followed in letter and spirit.
And whatever the documents the institution is not in possession, he can get the documents accordingly in that time window if there is any scope. So all the opportunity is provided to facilitate the institution to get the approvals.
Let me substantiate here. AICTE, being a regulator, it acts as a facilitator. So we extend maximum to the institute for getting the approval.
Okay.
It is so they can use any opportunity at any point in time. They can again appeal. They can again ask AICTE for reconsidering and all as per APH guidelines only.
Yes.
Of course. So maximum opportunity is given to the institutes for getting the approvals.
Okay, that's great. So institute will have a complete understanding of the process, and there will be sufficient opportunity for them to connect with the AICTE at every stage.
Yes.
And after considering all the facts only, either letter of approval will be given, or letter of deficiency or letter of rejection will be given. Yes, sir.
AICTE shall be handholding the
Handholding the
institution
institution.
all,
Okay.
all the steps since
That's great,
from the
that's great.
starting step till
Last
they get the
stage.
approval.
Okay, that's great, sir. So many thanks, sir, for coming to the studio and interacting with our viewers for this session, and updating all the updates Addendum and Corrigendum on our Approval Process Handbook. And here, many thanks viewers for joining for this studio and joining this session. Many thanks. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you.